Techniques for resolving conflicts. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship, especially in marriage. Reason? We're all selfish beings. Everybody wants unity, but our selfish quota tends to drive us apart. I want what I want, they both say. Well, there's different techniques, and we'll look at a scale between I get what I want in a marriage and they get what they want in a marriage. And the first technique is avoiding. This is when neither gets really what they want, but at least the issue is resolved. Romans 16:17 says, "Watch out for those who create divisions or fights and arguments and obstacles contrary to the teachings that you've learned. Avoid them." 2 Timothy 2:23, "Avoid foolishness and ignorant disputes, knowing they just generate strife or more infighting." So the technique of avoiding is sometimes necessary, but it's sort of like burying your head in the sand. Some situations this can be good, like road rage or car cuts in front of you, or maybe someone attempts to create a fight. It's just better to avoid it. If either cares about the issue, this will make it worse or even bigger, and another one will eventually appear, especially when they learn they can take advantage of you. The second approach, or second technique, is called accommodating. This is giving in. This is when it's more important to the other person than it may be to you. James 3:17 says, "The wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, accommodating, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and not hypocritical." Accommodating can be a good technique. If you can do it cheerfully, then do it. If you're manipulated to have to give in, then you feel like a victim, and the relationship becomes toxic. It's best if people take turns giving in, where it goes back and forth. The third technique is dominating or competing. This is the opposite of accommodating. By power or authority or rank, sometimes intimidation, one presses the other one to get their own way. Proverbs 29:2 says, "When the wicked rule, the people groan." Ecclesiastes 8:9 says, "There is a time in which one man rules over another to his own hurt." Yet in 1 Timothy 3:5 says, "If a man does not know how to rule his own house, how will he take care of the house of God?" So there's a wise way to rule that must be learned. Dominating, especially in non-emergencies, can be called bullying. You may win the argument, but it will cost you the relationship. Sometimes this is the best approach, especially on a battlefield or in an emergency. No dialogue about who will win or put out the fire. The fourth approach is to compromise. The compromise means that you both get something of what you want, but you don't get it all. Matthew 5:25, Jesus said, "Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you're going to court." Compromising is not a win-win, rather it's a tie. In a compromise, you get as close as you can, and then you split the difference. The benefit is that it's fast, and you don't have time to develop feelings or even a history. It can settle disputes, but it's not good for long-term alignment, and unity is seldom the results. Some of the alternatives to compromise are mediation, when a third party helps you come to a solution or an agreement, or perhaps arbitration, where you create a binding agreement and you both commit to whatever are the terms. The fifth approach is called collaboration. This is sort of results in a win-win situation. This is birthed out of a commitment to a relationship and results in both changing to create unity. It takes time and patience and a willingness to discuss the hurts and criticisms. It takes a lot of listening and a willingness to understand the other person. Everyone feels seen and heard and valued in this approach. They both agree to resolve the issue with the goal of creating a unity. It's a creative process and many possibilities. Trust grows with this approach. Amos 3:3 says, "Can two walk together unless they agree?" With a collaboration approach, this results in understanding, liking each other, and respecting each other much more. Less likely to enter into another conflict. Paul wrote, I appeal to you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree that there be no more divisions among you, but that you be united in the same mind and the same judgment. May we all commit ourselves to resolving all of our conflicts.